Here's a great question for you. When was the last time you apologized to your spouse? Thing one, two, and three all make a difference as you fight fair. Yet, of all the progress you're making, it goes out the window if you don't apologize. Why is it so hard for us to admit that we are wrong? In the book of Matthew, chapter 6, and verses 14 and 15, in the Message translation, it says, in prayer, there's the connection between what God does and what you do. You can't get forgiveness from God, for instance, without also forgiving others. If you refuse to do your part, you cut yourself off from God's part. There's a lot of verses that I wish were not in the Bible because they're hard for me. This is truly one of them. It simply says, I've got to forgive. God wants me to forgive. It's not a suggestion. It's written in stone. The other thing I see in this verse, actually something I do not see, is this. It does not say forgive when your spouse asks for forgiveness first. It does not say if your spouse is more at fault than you, they need to apologize and you don't. It simply says forgive. When Nancy and I have a fight, I need to apologize. First, because God says so. Second, because I participated in the fight at some level. And third, I want us to get our marriage back on track. If I'm completely transparent with you, let me share how far off I was from God's plan. After a fight, I would break it down. Who started it? Who said the worst things? Then I would take my results and make a comparison. I became very good about spinning the results in my favor and believing that Nancy was the one who needed to apologize. All of that gave me a temporary sense of victory, but it was very short-lived. I had turned our fights into a competition with a winner and a loser, and I wanted to always be the winner. And that was killing my marriage. Then God began to open my eyes to see that the verse we just read was for me. You need to forgive her and apologize, and the sooner the better. God created us. He knows us better than we'll ever know ourselves. So why do we fight him? Why do we do it our way instead of his? This is what I found. The more I do things God's way, the better it is for me and for my marriage. Thing four is to apologize. So what if you start to be the first to say, I'm sorry, or I forgive you, or please forgive me, or I apologize? What if that became your new after the fight go-to? What if your goal was to forgive your spouse like God has forgiven you? Always have an eye on tomorrow. What if tomorrow never comes?